Okay, this is what I want to cover today. I put a comment out today about people getting really upset about me cussing in my videos and stuff like that, and other people getting upset about other people's videos when they cuss. It made me think of this, so I looked up these two things to discuss. And I want you to understand that when we're in the moment and we're really upset and we're seeing things that are going on and realizing what it is, and other people are not realizing it and they're not getting upset, that's the reason why, because we get in the emotion and we can't help it. Okay, I've tried to work on it. There's only a couple, I think only a couple of my videos that I've cussed. And sometimes I get really mad and I do kind of look crazy, but I promise you I'm not. This is what I'm gonna go over with you. It's gonna be kind of a long video. But within my comment, I was talking about how that a group cannot, even within a country or a government, they cannot bring in communism without having socialism first. So what I did was I looked up some stuff on the Communist Manifesto, and I pulled up this article from WND. It came out in 2011, which explains a lot. I'm going to go over this, and then there's something else I'm going to go over with to combat this. But I kind of want you to kind of listen to what this says, and think of the policies that have came out within the last 20 years, and most definitely within the last 10 years. So here we go. It's called America Meets 90% of Karl Marx Demands. Posted by no author, 7/6/2011. And I will put this in the comment section. If I can find it again, I will put it in there. It says, I recently reread the Communist Manifesto written by Karl Marx in 1848. What I read was a bit shocking. Marx had 10 planks that this evil manifesto was based upon, and he advocated the use of any means to accomplish these socialist goals, including violent revolutions. The planks are listed below, followed by my comment on how it applies to America today. 10 planks of communism by Karl Marx. 1. Abolition of private property in land and application of all rents of land to public purpose. Dr. Eliot's comment. This is where eminent domain comes into the picture, and even property taxes. Once you own your property outright by paying off your mortgage, you still don't technically own it, because the government could jack up property taxes so high that it makes it unaffordable to remain. Number 2, a heavy progressive and graduated income tax. Dr. Eliot's comment, marginal tax rates increasing as income goes up is a graduated income tax. This is in opposition to a more fair tax like a national sales tax or flat tax, where a person is not taxed at a higher rate the more income they earn. Number 3, abolition of all rights of inheritance. Dr. Eliot's comment, in the U.S., these can be seen as estate taxes, i.e., the death tax. Number 4, confiscation of the property of all immigrants and rebels. Dr. Eliot's comment, this is nothing more than government seizures, IRS property confiscation, and the 1997 Crime Terrorist Bill, which calls for the imprisonment of terrorists, and in captions it says, not such a bad thing, but also for those who speak out against the government. Your life is the most valuable property you have, but the government has the right to take it away because of things that you may say. Consider Senate Bill 3081. The Enemy Belligerent Interrogation, Detention, and Prosecution Act of 2010, co-sponsored by, wait for it, John McCain and Joe Lieberman. The following is actual text from the bill that explains what a belligerent may be and the reasons they can be detained without due process. A. The potential threat the individual poses for an attack on civilians or civilian facilities within the United States, or upon United States citizens or United States civilian facilities abroad at the time of capture or when coming under the custody or control of the United States. B. The potential threat the individual poses to the United States military, personal or United States military facilities at the time of capture or when coming under the custody or control of the United States. C. The potential intelligence value of the individual. D. Membership in Al-Qaeda or in a terrorist group affiliated with Al-Qaeda. E. Such other matters as the President considers appropriate. And in all capital letters it says, this is a major problem. This is very subjective and could include a multitude of things, even just disagreements on policy. Number 5, centralization of credit in the hands of the state by means of a national bank with state capital and exclusive monopoly. Dr. Elliott's comment. This is an easy one. The Federal Reserve Act of 1913 created the Federal Reserve, and now the government owns many of the country's largest banks via bailout money. Government control of private industry is just a polite way of saying fascism. Okay, now I'm going to put some commentary in here real quick. This is the reason why I got so mad in my mega rant video. This is what I was trying to explain to you. Because this has been going on for hundreds of years with the Rothschilds, the Warburgs, the Rockefellers, and all them. Okay, what they do is if they see a country struggling, they'll go in and try to get them out of debt or whatever, but they put them more into debt, which depending on how they look at things, as far as like the way they look at things politically, they could use that and say, you're going to do this. This is what I want you to do, and you're going to implement it. Okay? So they have kind of sway over the government policy. Instead of it being in the people's hands, it's been taken away. That's another one of the reasons why I kind of went off. But I'm going to move on. Number 6, centralization of the means of communication and transportation in the hands of the state. Dr. Elliott's comment. The FAA, FCC, and the ICC, Interstate Commerce Commission, are all government entities that purpose to regulate how we travel and what is said. There is nothing particularly disturbing about this now, but what about in the future? Could the government shut down communication or transportation for various people or groups? Notice that that's happened to a lot of patriot groups, and then we have this IRS scandal on how the Tea Party was attacked and stuff by the IRS. Moving on. Could the government shut down communication or transportation for various people groups? Yes. They could pretty much do whatever they want. There is no competition here. There is no free market private entity as a choice. I thought the government made monopolies illegal. Oh, that's right, they did, except for when they have a monopoly. Number 7, extension of factories and instruments of production owned by the state, the bringing into cultivation of wastelands, and the improvement of the soil generally in accordance with a common plan. Dr. Elliott's comment. Recent events have made this one very disturbing. On June 9, 2011, President Obama signed into law Executive Order 13575, in which the intent is to seize greater power over food, fiber, and energy. A great article explaining this was written by Raven Clabol and posted on the New American website. His last name is spelled Clabough, if you want to look it up. Number 8, equal obligation of all to work and the establishment of industrial armies, especially for agriculture. All these, farmers are being attacked and landowners. Dr. Elliott's comment. Because of high inflation and higher taxes, our society has been thrust into a dual-income family at the minimum. In many instances, both husband and wife have multiple jobs. Number 9. Combination of agriculture with manufacturing industries, gradual abolition of the distinction between town and country by a more equal distribution of the population over the country. Dr. Elliott's comment. I'm not qualified to answer this question, as I don't really know of any combination of the two industries. In fact, it seems that we have in this country an opposite, as there seems to be a corralling of people into the urban areas, which means they're trying to get people to not buy private property. They're taxing them. They're putting all these regulations on what they can do on their farms and stuff like that. And since this was written in 2011, I do want to bring up the fact about the people that are producing GMOs, which Monsanto, that's who they are. Okay, you have Monsanto and the government. Remember, all that stuff went out about that. You can look that up if you haven't heard about it. Let's see. Okay, I've already read number 9, and this is his comments. Okay, number 10, free education for all children in government schools and abolition of children's factory labor in its present form, combination of education with industrial production, etc. Dr. Eliot's comment, this is where Common Core comes in. And if you haven't studied about it, you know, I'm sure you've heard the good things if you haven't been researching about it, but you really need to research Common Core and see all the evidence of how it does not work and how it's an indoctrination tool. Okay, here we go. The public school system and the Department of Education indoctrinated our kids. Notice this is a doctor. He's saying indoctrinated our kids into the agenda that the federal government wants for our children. Both the National Department of Education and the state level departments of education adhere to an outcome-based education model where excellence is not rewarded and lackluster performance is not dealt with in the proper manner, so kids don't get their feelings hurt. The whole standard of equalization is drilled into our kids' heads through the public school system. By the time they graduate, they are socialized. Okay, analyzing where America is now. In the United States, we fulfill Marx's 10 planks of a complete communist state on 1 through 8 and 10. Kind of on 7 and maybe on 9. So according to Marx's vision of communism, we are about 90% there. Good grief, it's time to wake up and take action now before it's too late and the freedoms that we have come to expect in our beloved country are stripped away from us. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about law. This is law, okay? This is not opinion. It's a law. This is what we can use to combat this. People need to learn this. They need to teach their kids this. They need to actually go out and practice this. Exercise these rights, okay? And I'm going to read them, okay? 1 through 10. That's not all of them. There's more. But 1 through 10 is really important. Amendment number 1 of the Bill of Rights and the amendments to the Constitution. Number 1. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Now here lately, how many times have you seen on the news about free speech zones? That's against the law. That's against our rights. That's a violation. Number 2, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That means never, ever, ever. Okay? It cannot be infringed whatsoever. It doesn't matter whose opinions this, what kind of liberal group wants to yell and scream, or what kind of policies that they want to write up, executive orders whatsoever. Anything that is written into law that goes against the Constitution is null and void. It is not a law. Just because they say it's a law doesn't mean it is one. That's their opinion. Okay? So I'm going to move on. People are going to watch this and they're not going to agree with me on this, but this is law. These are our rights. And anyone's doing that, they're violating them. Okay? So number 3, no soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in the manner to be prescribed by law. Number 4, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by the oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Which means if you get pulled over by a cop and you don't want them searching your car, you tell them, I do not want you searching my car, and contact your lawyer. Do not speak to them anymore. Just say, I want to speak to my lawyer. Okay? They cannot do it. If you tell them no, that they cannot search your car, and they do it anyway, you can sue them for that. Or you can bring them up on charges for it. Okay. I'm sorry I'm kind of speeding this through, but my phone doesn't have enough time. So I will post this stuff in the comment section. Number 5. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia. When in actual service in time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Okay, which means you can get witnesses to represent you in a court case, okay? And if they find you innocent, they cannot charge you for the same crime. And also, they cannot take your things. If they take your things, okay, they have to compensate you for that. They have to pay you for it, okay? Number 6, in a criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against them, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, in your favor, and to have assistance of counsel for his defense, which means you can pick anyone for your defense. You can even defend yourself if you want to, or pick a friend, but it's wise to get someone that knows constitutional law. Constitutional lawyer. You've got to get that through your head. Constitutional lawyer. It's very, 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 very important. Okay. Number 7. In suits at common law where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. Number 8. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. How many times have we seen this been going on lately? A lot. You can look it up for yourself. You'll see it. Number 9. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. Number 10, and this is, I think, right now is the most important, and we need to be using it. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Which means each state has a state flag, which means it is sovereign, okay? You know how each country has a flag. Well, in the United States, each state has a flag. It's sovereign. And they also have treason laws that we could use. Okay? Which means all of the states make up the federal government. They tell the federal government what to do through us. And we have our representatives. If our representatives are not doing their jobs like they're supposed to, whether they be paid off or whether they are just tyrants, it doesn't really matter. Okay? Once they don't do it, and we're under tyranny, and it's obvious we are. It goes to the military, because if the other branches of government, Congress doesn't represent us, it goes to the military. If the military doesn't do it, it goes to the people. So this is why my idea came up with the border issue, just on that issue, that it would be a wise idea to go and get a petition written up. And we have to make sure it's legal on the right paper, using the right color of ink, everything. And we go get to each state, goes out, and they sign, and they have talked to people about it and ask them if they want to sign this. Once we get enough signatures, we all of us take them to our representatives for our state. They are then, if they're the majority of that state, okay, signs that, then that means that state has to do what the citizens say. They have to do it. Okay? So basically, it would kind of be like voting, but it would be a more, I don't know, I think it would be there would be no room for corruption in it, because you would have people's actual signatures, and you could verify those. But that's an idea. But I just wanted to go over the fact that a lot of people think this is just socialism. It's not just socialism. They have to bring in socialism and make everybody buy it and go for it and all this stuff. And that's the reason why they're pushing so hard on these certain issues that they keep hammering in the media, like abortion, birth control, just tons and tons and tons of issues that they're hammering, constantly hammering. And we have all these other important issues going on that aren't being solved, okay? And if someone has a belief in that, and they're really strongly believing they should have the right to do it, say abortion or whatever, they're going to be along the lines more willing to follow these people. But what they don't understand is they are using your beliefs as a tool to take away the rest of your rights. Okay? And you have the right to believe in whatever you want to believe in. I'm just pointing this out, okay? And through reading these 10 planks from the Communist Manifesto, okay, it's obvious that this stuff is going on just by reading that. That they bring in the socialism first, they bring up all these issues, and then they get all the people from different races and have different identities and ideas, and they have them clash against each other, okay? And then over time, our rights start getting whittled down to where we don't have them in no more. That's why things are heating up year after year. And they're getting worse year after year. Because this is their plan, and that's how they're implementing it. Okay? So, and people like me and Dave Anderson, Stacy Pierce, Carrie Kelly, all these people that are putting these videos out, they see this. They know this, okay? There's a lot of us that have been following this for years, and we see the writing on the wall. So if we're yelling or screaming or something like that, it's because we're seeing something on TV, or we've seen footage of something that's going on where the average person that doesn't know this information just kind of blows it off. We see the writing on the wall, and we're like, oh my God, why don't people see this? You know, and it just makes you so irritated that you can't, you know, you just have to find a way to express it. And we care about people so much that we're trying our best to try to teach them at the same time and take all the information that we've learned over the years and try to, you know, teach it all as fast as we can. It's hard to do. Okay, so please be patient with people if they get irritated. Don't just stop watching their videos. Give them a chance, okay? I just wanted to put this out. This is the longest video I've made, but I really wanted to cover this, okay? So I am teaching, but at the same time, I am trying to give you a solution of what we can do with it. Okay, so please read your Constitution, your Bill of Rights, and please do look up and compare the two. And then you'll see what I'm talking about. Watch videos, do some more research. If you want to ask me something or anything like that, just put it in the comments, and I'll try to get back with you as soon as I can. Or, like I said, I can put, there's a group out here talking about common law and the corporation. I really didn't get this. I had to remake this video, but I had it in the first section. It shut off too early. But when we're talking about corporations, it's actually called Admiralty Law. But Dave Anderson and his group, I think it's called BFD. But I will put the link down in the comments on Facebook, and I'll put it in the About Me section of this video. They talk about Admiralty Law and how, you know, how we were talking about how the government just has the monopoly, but it's illegal to have monopolies in the United States. Well, if you look at your driver's license or any of your bills or anything you do with business with the government or anything, your name is in all capital letters. Now, you don't sign your name in capital letters or write your name in capital letters, which is kind of weird, right? Well, a corporation always puts their names in capital letters. So when you're going and you're doing business or you're going to court or anything like that, the court could be considered, they don't really call it this, but they could consider, the judge is considered the bank. And that's why you get charged with all this stuff, money and stuff like that. But he can, Dave Anderson and his group can really explain this a lot deeper into detail. It would probably take me another hour, 2 hours to explain this. But I guess I can find a video and post it down there. But also, please get in contact with them because they are very intelligent when it comes to this admiralty law stuff, common law. And Dave Anderson, if you've seen any of his videos, he's very, very eloquently at speaking, and he can explain this a whole lot better than I can, because he studied it more. But anyway, this is all written down in Black's Law Dictionary, so even if you don't contact them, you can look it up and you can find out that the United States is a corporation. Now, when I say United States, I don't mean the landmass. I'm talking about the United States, the 20-mile radius around the District of Columbia. When you're born, they take blood from you, right? Now, from the bottom of your foot. And they don't give you the life certificate of birth, they just give you a birth certificate and take the life certificate. Now, what they don't tell you is that if you don't claim that, then they consider you legally dead. Legally dead. Not really dead, but legally dead. Anyways, I could go into it, but I'm not going to in this video. But it's very, very important that you know these things. Read your Constitution, your Bill of Rights,